This is a true story. I wanted to write it down before I convinced myself it was all a dream. I just cut myself on barbed wire while sleepwalking, maybe fell down the stairs, hurt my leg, I don't know. If you've experienced anything similar, please respond, especially if you live locally. So, a bit of background. I'll try to make this quick. My family and I moved here about 2.5 years ago. A small town outside of Puyallup, Washington, on a 15-acre farm of 4 pastures. Our back left pasture, the playfield, is half wooded, half open, and mostly used to race quads in during the summer. It's the only field on our property with woods. Through this pasture is the wooded section, and the pasture in the front of it runs a creek. At this time of the year, the creek is normally flooded over, and tonight was no exception. A little less than a month away, our gypsy van, or colt, had been attacked and killed by a cougar. Since then, we've been on high alert for livestock security. Me and my siblings are on spring break, so my sleep schedule's all screwed up. I was up, texting my friend Natalie, cleaning my room, half-assed playing with my ferrets, when I hear our LGD puppy, a livestock guardian dog, start barking like crazy. My bedroom window faces the property, not the road, and I keep it cracked to hear the crickets and frogs at night. I didn't even really register that she was barking at first. When I noticed, I yelled at her to shut up. I checked the time on my phone, nearly 2-something in the morning. Suddenly, I heard our horses whinnying and snorting. My heart pounding in my chest, all I could think of was the cougar. I decided to wait it out for a few. Horses can get spooked easily, so maybe they were just running around. God, I wish I just stayed inside. The horses weren't quieting, and I was getting more anxious. So I went downstairs to knock on my mom's bedroom door. I would have tried to wake up my dad, the one with the guns. But he works late nights now. I threw on my boots, grabbed my headlamp and knife by the door, and headed out to check. Living on a farm, I've learned that animals are priority. Call it an instinct, maybe, I don't know. But I'll do anything for them. The pasture that holds our horses is quiet. Front left pasture, with the front half the creek, without the woods. But I could still hear the whinnying. I hushed our guard dog, Maddie, and checked on the horses in the front right pasture. Our tenant leases the field. Everyone is fine. I decided to check the back 2 fields by the barn. By then, I was wishing I grabbed a rifle, or my brother's Red Ryder at the least. What was I supposed to do if it was a cougar? By the barn, the moon was bright enough that I didn't need a headlamp. Tomorrow's supposed to be the full moon. The fog coming off the creek was lit up like a floodlight. The whinnying had stopped, but I could hear a horse pacing. There wasn't supposed to be anyone out here. The horses had been moved up because of the attack. Sorry, I know this is all kind of confusing, but this is the real part. The part I'm writing about. That's when I saw it. That's when I saw her. A beautiful mare. I don't know what breed. We breed draft horses up on our farm. But she was a light horse. When she saw me standing there, she stopped running around and stared. The only thing separating us was the gate to the pasture and white fog. She was incredible. I forgot about the cougar and coyotes immediately, that I'll admit. She was solid black, and the moonlight accented every muscle on her body. Our horses still had a bit of winter fuzz. But she had a slick summer coat. At first I thought she must be from the Arabian breeder down the road. But she wasn't an Arab. I still have no idea where she would have come from. I whistled and she didn't twitch an ear. She just stared at me. I tucked my pajama pants into my boots to keep them clean, zipped up my hoodie, and climbed over the fence. I half expected her to run away or even charge at me. All she did was snort. As I jumped down into the mud, I felt myself sink a little. I clicked at her and stuck my hand out. I was close enough to smell her. She smelled like a combination of wet horse and the woods the morning after it rains hard. I walked towards her slowly, suddenly aware that if she chose to rear and kick me, no one would know till morning. But I didn't care. I wanted to touch her. I needed to touch her. I can't explain the pull. Each step I took made a nasty sloshing noise. And now that I think about it, though, I don't remember any such noise when she was trotting about. When I got within arm's reach, she sniffed my hand. I expected warm, moist breath, but it just felt cold. She whinnied and started to walk around me. I was so excited. I wanted to feel her beautiful coal-colored coat so badly. Never have I wanted something more in my entire life. I reached out my fingertips and barely touched her coat. It was wet, almost slimy. I scratched her shoulders. And to my utter joy and astonishment, she began to scratch and groom my head with her lips. If you've ever had a horse, you understand. I pulled my fingers through her mane. It had only one little knot in it, obviously, well taken care of. But she had plants in it. I don't know what kind, but they were a bit slimy too. As I stroked her coat, I realized she was looking at me. Not just towards me, but straight at me. Her eyes locked on mine. I might be exaggerating this part, but I swear to God, she was looking through me. Now I know horses are smart, but this one seemed to be over the top. I thought she wanted something. She trotted about impatient. I thought, maybe she wants me to ride her. So, sorry, I have to add this part in real quick. My first summer here, on the farm, I got thrown off a horse, Gizmo. Got my first trip to the ER, and since then, I've been nervous about riding, but here she was. I wished I had brought a stool or a mounting block to stand on, and as soon as the thought finished in my mind, she laid down. Did this mean I could just get on her back from the ground? She nodded. She fucking nodded. I swear on my life and everything that I hold dear, that horse nodded at me. So I sat on her back. As soon as I did so, I was filled with the biggest adrenaline rush I'd ever had. She stood up and my fears from the summer before vanished. This horse seemed so steady and beautiful and perfect. I held onto her mane and kept my legs loose around her. She gave an excited whinny and started prancing like a horse in a parade. I was so exhilarated that I clicked for her to go faster, and she did. I couldn't see her feet as we ran through the fog. She raced the length of the open part of the pasture, and I let go of her mane and put my hands out like I was flying above the clouds. I felt like I was flying. But then it changed. Dear God, did it change. She sped up. She got to the end of the field. She turned around so suddenly that every ounce of dread and panic returned about riding. I clung to her neck for dear life. Suddenly I wanted off. I wanted to go home. I wanted to be in my bed, away from this horse. I tried to woo her to slow her down, but she wouldn't stop. My worst fears were realized as I was stuck on a wild mare, no reins or stirrups. I had some trails through the woods for quads. She suddenly darted towards them. We were on the trail that ended just after a bridge over the creek. She was heading for the water. I tried to let go of her neck, but I was stuck. My arms were sticking to her skin. She didn't have hair on her neck now. It was like it had started to melt. It was cold and slimy and disgusting, like mud at the bottom of a lake. I don't know how else to describe it. As branches hit my face and arms, little trickles of blood dripped down. I accepted that I was done for. I was going to die out here and no one would know. I could see the creek glittering from the moonlight that shone down through the trees, fast approaching. I could hear branches break with every hoofbeat. To our left, suddenly I heard howling. Never in my life have I ever been more thankful for coyotes. Why the hell a pack of coyotes would think that they could take on a horse, I never know, but I don't even care. It threw her, off long enough to make her slip and slide right off the bank of the creek. As the beast fell, it landed on my left leg. I didn't care. I didn't waste a second. As soon as she was down, I was up, free from the horrific creature's sticky skin. Even in the dark, I could see that it didn't look like a horse anymore. It snapped at me as I pulled my leg out from under it. The thing had canine teeth. Its skin looked like it was melting off its face. Its mane looked like blackened seaweed, and it smelled like waterbogged death. I ran away as fast as I could. I sprinted back down the trail where we came from. As I got into the open part of the field, I knew that I was home free if I could just reach the fence. I tripped once from not being able to see my feet in the fog, but quickly recovering, flew over the gate, past the barn, and into the house. Our guard dog was barking like mad again, this time at me. As soon as I got the back door shut, I leaned against it, locked it, and just started sobbing. By now my left leg was in crippling pain and my lungs felt ready to explode. My mouth tasted like blood. But it didn't matter. I'm alive. As soon as I recovered, I got out my brother's laptop and started to type this. I'm scared to death that it's still out there. I didn't hear it chase after me on my way back, but that doesn't mean it's not still there. Nobody's going to believe me. But it's true. Please, if anyone knows anything, email me, PM me, comment, anything. That thing might still be waiting in the water. It wanted to kill me, drown me, eat me, I don't know. I'm desperate for answers. I know I'll have to go to the ER tonight, but I should be online again by Monday. Please. Help.